Hello, people.
Hello, people, interactive past people. We are here today in this lovely grey box that is part of my office. And
Your whole office is a great box.
my whole office is a grey box, which normally you don't see because you either get to see green screen
True.
or you get to see my lovely books. But we're now faced this way for this particular stream. Why?
Because we're going to play a particular game in virtual reality.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna, play like do on stage, like la
Live.
live.
Theater performance.
Performance on live.
That would be a first
Well,
for value.
This will be a bit of a performance for sure, because this is the first time that we tried a virtual reality stream, which everybody says is super difficult to pull off. We'll see, we'll see. This is the first time we're using this little thingy over there. I don't know if we don't really see what you're seeing right now. Maybe you're not even hearing us. We haven't got it.
We hope. We can only hope.
We can only hope. But we're basically using this thing. This is the thing that we're talking into for Krijn.
New microphone, yes.
Very nice new microphone. And I think gear and technical stuff is always nice, but we're also going to be playing something very nice today. Well, nice is maybe not the right word.
In a particular way, perhaps.
It is definitely an experience, as they say. Hellblade, which is a game I already played when it first came out for the PlayStation 4, 1.5 years ago, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Now, recently, they made a virtual reality iteration, and whenever I was playing this game as it was meant to be played back then, headphones on, and I was already
Freaked out.
freaked out. It was really intense.
Yeah.
And then I thought, wow, VR, and we never did anything with this game. While it is definitely about the interactive past, there's picts in there, there's Vikings in there, there's mythology in there, there's iconography in there. There's a lot in there.
Good storytelling.
And we're going to be exploring that literally via your eyes. Enough ado, let's put on...
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've never played the original Hellblade version on the PS4. I played it maybe for 5 minutes or something.
Right. The thing that Krijn is trying to say is...
If I scare the hell out, or it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, I actually don't know what I'm doing.
And he's really afraid for jump scares. So,
well, especially in VR.
Let's give him a little applause. You're a brave man for trying to do this. I obviously did not volunteer for this, but he did.
Let's explain to the viewers what you are actually doing now, because Angus is actually going to sit behind the desk
right here
and has his own microphone.
for sure. You should still be hearing me relatively all right, although not the super nice crispy sound of the Sennheiser, but with a slightly less crispy sound. But that doesn't matter at all. Krijnemans.
And we will be continuing or discussing the game while I play.
If you're not scared shitless, we will be discussing something of the game.
It's going to be difficult because I also have my headphones on with the game, and I have to hear you.
I think maybe
talk.
We'll just see
how
this goes.
Otherwise, you're just going to do a monologue, I think.
I will monologue, or we'll take small little breaks where you clean your pants and and I talk. We can talk about the game.
Sure.
All right. Let me. You're not yet. We're not yet there. Let me actually go to the playing screen. So basically, now, from now on, we will get to see on our screen what you are seeing. So keep your head relatively steady, because no, just kidding. That's fine. You just enjoy and focus on the experience.
How am I for the video, for the capture?
You seem to be relatively straight. Yeah, everything seems to be working out. I'm going to monitor our sound as well. Make sure you start a new game though.
Yeah. Here we go, people.
The others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
This looks amazing.
He can feel her coming closer. She's getting they're watching. This is a journey deep into
Yeah, you're
darkness.
definitely
There will be no more
in
stories
one of
after
the
this
I think one of the best game intros I've ever played. In this little bar canoe in this absolutely creepy environment.
Yeah, and you hear all these voices, you know, in the...
Are you hearing voices?
yeah.
What? That's not
Other,
supposed to.
other voices than normal.
Oh, okay. Other voices than normal.
I never told you of the others.
No, I think this is really. Another thing I like.
Mental health advisor.
Yes, and historical advisor, who's I think an Oxford Scandinavian or Viking Age archaeologist, if I remember correctly, the affiliation, but definitely an expert. They're right there in the front, with the design
Yeah.
leads, with everybody else. I think
cool.
that's pretty cool.
Changed them, just like it changed her.
And yes, Krijn, you cannot really see it, but yes, Krijn is tripping balls right now.
Well, it is quite scary, I have to say.
Up ahead. You see it too?
You promised you can.
Yes. It is real after
Just
all.
let us know, stream, if you need a bit
She's
more,
finally arrived at the
audio
land of
input.
mist and fog.
because I don't want to put the game too loud,
Place
but at
the
the same
North
time,
Call.
it's really about the audio in this game. And some disturbing visuals as well.
Go back. It's not safe. Go back.
This is really
It's
amazing.
not safe.
These
Oh,
voices,
Peter.
though.
Look around and you will see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell.
The rivers of hell, and hell with one L.
The dead don't always
Is that
lie
a particular
still here.
reason, do you think?
Yes, that it's
Helheim.
This is not a place
Helheim,
of rest.
exactly. It's Viking hell.
Yeah.
So it's hell the way you would write it in Scandinavian, or in Dutch for that matter.
They're going to do that to you.
Chilla, by the way, is flipping out with you, even if you're seeing it via Twitch.
Stop. Can you feel them?
And there's also this
Norse mythology for
They're
sure.
watching her.
these voices. I mean, the headset is also 3D stereo, so you actually also hear them behind you.
That's
very freaky.
That's part of the. Doesn't matter what headset you play it with. That's part of the game. I'm not sure how that is if you listen to it through Twitch. I don't know. It's
What does
dynamic
she think?
binaural audio design, if I remember correctly.
I can tell you.
And there are these
She's afraid.
great the developer documentaries in which you see
You'd
them
think she would get used to it by
recording the
now,
voices
so
that you're hearing right now,
Mm.
and they're just recording that with a 360 mic, with people just wandering.
Just builds onto
2-3
itself.
people. I think there's 2-3 different
Stronger.
voices in your head. I mean, I don't know. Remember, maybe it's just the one voice of one
You might
lady,
try
but
and ignore it.
anyway,
No, there are
circling-
different voices.
circling around the
It's
mic
always there, just
and,
outside,
speaking into it, and that's how you
where you're
get
most
this
vulnerable.
Right.
absolutely
It's like it knows that
convincing
just enough light
idea of a voice in your head.
is all you need to see it.
And yes, it's
suffocating
binaural.
power.
There you go. It's
Well-
very damn eerie. Keida is saying, and that's I would definitely agree there. It's just
They can feel you.
such an I'm kind of jealous of Kai now at the moment, although he's licking his lips. he's
You might think she's brave to go
getting
on this
ever
journey
more
alone.
scared. But I'm
But
kind
isn't
of jealous
bravery
because
to
I
drive
remember
someone?
playing this on the PlayStation 4, being absolutely bowled over by these
Bravery
imprisoners.
only means something.
Yeah, but this
to
is-
those afraid of death.
This is something else. I mean, I've seen some videos on the PS4,
It's
but
far.
being here in this world is...
It's definitely nice, I would say. It's. I'm not saying that this will be the killer app that
that VR needs.
that VR needs, because it is in that sense. It's a little. It's a game that's relatively niche, maybe for. I mean, it's very popular, but it's not that. It's not like Tetris, or it's not like a puzzle game which everybody's just gonna get into.
Sure.
But if you want to show VR off to somebody, what we're seeing right now is, I think, pretty damn convincing. Keda is taking off her Fitbit because she's like, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go haywire.
I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get.
How old do you think the girl would be?
No one will judge her.
Presuming it's a girl.
No one will.
This is a
know.
girl, yeah. This is Senua. You're playing as Senua.
Yeah.
And Senua, I don't know how old she is, but
She looks young.
she looks
There's no
relatively
going
young.
back.
But at the same time, she is a grown woman, a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the when I was playing this, was like,
She's already
don't push away your
well.
canoe.
Yeah.
I need it.
Why?
There's nothing to go back
Yeah.
to, and worse to look forward to.
But you know,
Burning
sometimes
the
it
bridges.
doesn't matter
Sure.
what your physical age is. It
Maybe you
more
two have a
matters
part to play in this story.
how much shit you've seen in your life, and clearly Senua has seen some shit.
Yeah, well, this would be part of that shit, I guess.
This would qualify as shit.
Your
Yes.
eyes. Use your eyes. Come closer. She can't focus. Why can't she focus?
Focus.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate. But gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there.
Okay.
Across
Bridge
the river
gold.
of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
Well, that's some quest, eh? Look at the lighting in the trees falling. This is a spooky place.
This is a spooky place for sure. So through those runestones that you just, I mean, for people that don't know, that was a runestone, and if you activate them, then there will be people talking to you. Specifically, I think one person, if I remember correctly, the name is Ruth, and he basically.
Oh, it's getting dark, man. I'm going to brace myself.
I'm trying to give some background information here. Dylan.
Yeah, but you know.
You're there pissing your pants.
Yeah, let's run. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, my sound can be low now and again. I have to really put the mic in my face, then it won't be as low.
But she's not stopping.
This flame looks amazing. I actually don't want to leave the light.
Not this time.
So, Kato wants to know whether you are carrying a skull or not. But you're not carrying a skull. You're carrying a severed head.
He's right.
Nice.
Nice.
What was it he said?
Just as a little, I think it's a spoiler still, but
The river
it
of
is
knives
definitely a
across
severed head.
which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
Ah, here. Helheim, yeah. Am I now talking to the severed head? Yep. Seems to be talking back. Okay, sure. This happens all the time. It's all fine.
I hear you.
He's there, you know.
There's no doubt about it.
Okay, Kato wants to be technical about this. This is a skull that you're carrying, but there may or may not be still some flesh around.
Yeah, but you know, it's part of a head.
It's part.
A skull.
It's true. So you are carrying a skull. Very true. Oh, this is beautiful, man. This is. I'm so jealous of you right now.
Okay.
This is one of the great landscape as well in this game. Great landscapes in this game. This being one of the very first one. So what we've just heard is that Krijn / Senua / all the voices in Krijn / Senua's head. Krijn is not sure anymore in which head they are at the moment. Have to make their way to Hell or to Helheim. Because Senua is basically wants to release her. I think wants to release one of her lovers or her family, and wants to rescue them from the Vikings that have come to raid, or the Norsemen that have come to raid the islands on which she lived. She came from Orkney,
She forgets too.
and she's trying to go and set them
She
free.
does remember that only the dead.
So she made her way from Orkney to
That part wasn't
some forbidden shore.
Mm-hmm.
The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
And
This wooden figure looks amazing, by the way.
yeah, it does.
Dragon or something?
It's a good question. What it is? I'm not gonna spoil too much, but
right.
You'll find.
We'll
yourself-
cross this bridge when we get there.
Yes, you'll cross that bridge when you get there, for sure. So, Jeremy.
This is not that scary with this lighting.
No, it's very much a matter of atmosphere. This is meant to be beautiful, of course. And so, Krijn, a question is. Oh, jeez, this is not a question. This is a pun. If you would not prefer to play it in first person instead of multiple persons.
Northmen speak of 9 worlds.
Good pun. Good
The world
punning.
of men they call Midgard. The sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim. And that is where you must travel.
Sure, man. Some nice reminder of Norse mythology there.
Well, this is all across the game. You will have, if you interact with these runestones, you will have basically the whole of Norse mythology, at least those bits that matter a lot, laid
Sure.
out to you.
I like that. It's the same for God of War.
Yeah, for sure. It's very similar. What I like here as well is that it's really channeled through this one voice of an Irish scholar, Ruth, who told all these stories because Ruth has been captured by the Norsemen before. He eventually made his way out. And he told all the stories, all the knowledge that he knows of the Norsemen to Senua.
Ah, okay.
So this is very much this voice that she's hearing. She's heard those stories before.
What's she waiting for? Turn around. Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it. She can't go back now.
No, this is it.
Yeah, it's interesting that there are so many, of relatively many at the moment, I feel, Norse/Scandinavian games out. I think we could do a whole series on the different games because there's been
Back
a
to
lot
back.
of war. Yeah, back to back. I mean, right now we don't have any plans because we're still very much in our civilization series. But I think we could play like easily 10 to 25 games that are dealing with Norse mythology.
Yeah, probably.
Come out over the last couple of years.
Longer that way. Never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you?
This is him, right?
Yep.
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar. An old fool. Druth is my truth.
It's good to see you again.
I like her head
You kept
head
me
armor.
In this
Her head armor. Oh, I wonder. I don't really know that much about it. Let me
stories of hell,
let me find out something about that.
I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
Ah, she says old friend. Okay.
Seal
Yeah.
the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
Look really clearly. Focus.
I can see one.
Focus and you'll see.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate.
Okay. Oh wait, if I press this, I can see what I should be seeing.
You should be seeing this symbol somewhere in the world around you.
I'm seeing a lot of these.
Yeah, I know. But literally in the world around you. So reflected in the world. So not those things popping up.
Okay.
It's near.
It's near.
Focus, and you will find it. Look
Interesting.
towards the
I've
gate.
encountered
The gate.
a little, well, it's a thesis almost, called The Well-Dressed Pict. So you are a Pict, a Celtic kind of warrior, but the Picts are of course something else. They're the indigenous people of Scotland.
It's dangerous. Follow it. What's behind the
And indeed, as far as we know, Pictish hair would always be sort of, could have been very easily sort of bundled in top knots, laced with strips of leather and things like that. So this is definitely on the ball. Of course, I have to say that the blue paint as well is also one of these things that's
Yep.
that's authentic.
It's very convincing.
Yeah, very nice. So actually, Jaromir, really. Oh, there we go. Kate is giving some runic information. You have to look for man, which was that particular rune, which was N, I guess. But very cool. So Jaromir actually wants to know if you would not rather play this in first person. Which I guess what he means there is this is third person.
I don't know. I like
I watched the North.
having a bit of distance, I
Learned
think.
their ways.
And it plays really well.
You listen when everyone else laughed.
But I can see his point. More like Skyrim VR or something.
Heavy prize.
Yeah,
Carry my stories.
it's
with
interesting. The games that
Together
I've
we
played
will
in
make
VR,
the
for
Northmen
me,
feel
there
our
wasn't really
fury.
an immersion problem when it was third person.
No, I'm not having that problem either.
Another voice joins us.
But I can see his point.
She wants
Am I
to
still
let
in
them go
screen, by the
away.
way? I'm looking around. And
You are still in
walk-
screen.
walking around.
I will give a shout out if you're not
is
in
that?
screen anymore.
When we are always here.
I also like third person here because she looks so damn authentic and nice, accurate and detailed, and it's really nice. And that's something you would be missing if you were playing it first person.
Yeah, you would be missing the actual main character herself.
Yeah, exactly. And because then you would be the character. Now it feels more like I'm playing her story.
I guess it's the same with heights. You can stand on the edge, pretend it's going to be okay.
This is fine.
But you know that death is near. Waiting.
Luckily, I don't have. I'm not afraid of
little
heights.
slip. You can't just wish things.
By the way, this is really one of the traditional VR experiments called the VR pit, in which in very early, we often forget that there was already VR in the 80s, VR laboratories, and in very early VR experiments, the first thing that they did was put somebody on an actual plank, and then also a plank in VR, and then they would open up a pit beneath his feet or her feet.
The gods feared her bloodline.
So
bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's.
you still
So,
see
as
this
a child,
this setup
the
of
All-Father cast her down
encountering,
into
having
Helheim,
people encounter the
gave her
height of
power over
something
those who die of
often in
sickness,
VR. It's like
age,
a
hardship,
little traditional meme
and
of VR.
self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela.
Yeah, but it would also make sense, right? Because this is such a
Hela,
basic
the
human
Divian,
thing.
was sacrificed.
To be
with
at
her,
least slightly
Psychological
Yeah.
thing to be afraid of heights or play with heights, basically. The same as play with fear
Or play with fire.
or fire or. Yeah.
Or maybe play with a couple of humongous death giants. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that will happen, maybe that won't happen.
Is that a hint?
Just trying to prime you for your moment.
My moment of glory.
The moment of glory.
Stay back. Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead.
Jaromir is disappointed that he cannot hear
Is
the
that
dialogue,
face of Hela
which is
herself?
true, but there is a lot of dialogue in this game, because basically there are people talking to everybody the whole time. So I'll try to shut up during the runic segments, but for the rest,
She must find him.
talking is fair game.
Shh. Someone's here.
Where? Where's she looking? This looks nice, by the way, this building.
Yeah, it seems to be some sort of meat hall kind of structure.
Looks like the Grand Hall in Skyrim. Oh.
That was even scary for me.
What?
Ooh, nice.
You took him from me. I beg you. Let him go. I'll give you what you want.
What?
I won't resist anymore.
Are you talking to me?
Just give him back.
The F is happening. Oh, look at my arm. Okay. Oh, that was actually the right button.
It was actually the right button. So you don't have to be waving right now.
End it now. This is nearly the
Oh, that's not too bad. I thought maybe you had to actually do the sword fighting yourself.
Luckily not, I would hate that.
Yeah, that would be very intensive.
This is intense enough. Ah, okay.
Stop that shit.
Finish it. Wait. How do I kill this one?
Better fight. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Damn it.
Dying.
Oh wait, maybe this was supposed to happen. Well, this doesn't look good, man.
The end.
Oh, this was a nice game.
This is where most VR games are sort of done.
Yeah.
But here we're just beginning.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
Okay. All progress will be lost.
Yeah.
The
I remember
hardest
this being a
battles
little
are
bit
fought in the
contentious
mind.
in the
That
first
is
game.
what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow, whatever the cost.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice mechanic that with this dark rod. The only little bit of a problem was that maybe or
Listen
maybe
to me,
not,
Senua.
it's not
The
true.
goddess Hela
So we could
lies
try to
behind
die
the gate to Helheim.
a lot of times. They
To
couldn't
open
get
the
it
gate,
working.
you must
But on the other
first
hand,
face
maybe it does
those
work
that
in
guard
certain
it.
situations.
The
I
god
haven't
of
followed it
fire,
up.
Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan, spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Okay.
Why won't it open? Why can't she open it? She needs to challenge the gods. She has
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was
Yeah,
born
Ymir.
and was named Ymir. The ice
There he is.
continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow whose milk fed the giant. That's right, a cow. But you weren't expecting that.
No, well, actually we were because we knew, but it's still kind of weird.
Surt, the fire giant, has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind, and the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood.
Okay. I will try.
So, if you have not figured it out just
She
yet,
found
then
the wretched old fool on her way back from the wilds.
Senua is actually
An outcast.
psychotic.
Was badly burnt all over.
So,
She took pity on him, for he was not long for this world.
that means that
Like her,
Senua is hearing voices, as you were hearing right now,
Mhm.
and that she ends up
the North.
making a lot of her own realities. So, although this game is never very outspoken in the sense that,
Look, there's a face behind this waterfall.
yeah, for sure, man. So there are little occurrences like this, all over the, that's really nice. All over the world. Things that are not there or should maybe be there. So clearly, Senua is in a real environment in a way,
Mhm.
but her mind is also filling in details, as it were.
So she has psychosis, basically.
Yeah, exactly. She's psychotic. She is a psychosis, and one of the things that, as you could see in the beginning of the game, they, aside from working together with a historical consultant, they've also worked together with somebody who could give consultancy on mental disorders, particularly on psychosis.
Mm.
Because so often in games, you see that just as with the past, that is used in a certain way just to get kicks out of it. It's the same thing with mental disorders in games. That
Sure.
people are called crazy or sociopathic, psychopathic, all sorts of stuff the whole time. It's made to look cool. Often these people are antagonists, but here we have a protagonist, us, that is basically going through this psychosis.
Mm.
And yeah, I think it's a really powerful thing that they've done in this game. It's very narrative. It's at the same time it's also very experiential.
Yep.
Especially with your VR goggles on, I can see that. And you are in the shoes of somebody who's
We're winning.
fight back, otherwise you're not longer in the shoes.
Finish this.
More again. There's a lot of these.
She's so weak. She's so weak. They can see you're weak.
So I think this game is interesting for many, many different reasons. But one of the reasons for sure is that we're playing a protagonist who's clearly far from perfect. I mean, there's a clear mission and there's a clear goal here, but...
Look, it's more sunny now. I defeated those guys.
Could be a little cue that you pick up on if you're playing in VR. I didn't really remember that, but yeah.
Oh, it's definitely noticeable here.
Oh.
Just crossing a burnt corpse there. Don't mind me.
Well, you're in the land of the fire giant, so you're bound to encounter a couple of
It makes sense, I know.
burnt corpses.
No, it's definitely different now. Oh, look, there's the...
The horse again.
yeah.
Maybe it's a horse, or maybe it's something else.
For me, it's a dragon. I like dragons.
Hey man,
Okay.
your mind can tell you whatever you want to.
Yeah, apparently.
I can still smell it. The sweet, sickly stench
Oh,
of
wait.
burning human flesh.
I've seen this.
And I'm still here.
It's here.
Oh, that one should be
Yes.
possible. Finding the
I
symbol.
heard their screams, and I still hear them now.
Yeah, it's here, but I just have to...
You have to line them up.
Focus. Screams.
I am focusing.
Yeah, it should be together.
Okay.
Now just one more. If the little symbols start to appear, that's when you have to really start looking
Yeah,
for
it
it.
should be, I guess it should be up here. Yep, because otherwise, why would this be here?
Yeah.
I've played a lot of video games to know that something should be up here.
Yeah. So what you're doing right now, I remember going through all the development documentaries, and this game basically, this symbol matching game that you're playing right now, is or would be a feature of actual psychosis. So
towards the gate.
people will
And you will see
try
that
to
it
see,
has opened.
will see patterns in things that other people will not see patterns in. And here, of course, being done patterns on a door that have to be replicated somehow in the environment.
Yeah.
You can't really see it, and I can't really pronounce it, but Chilla knows all the runes.
When they first came to my lands, I knew enough of their tongue to beg for mercy. And they
That
took
last one
us.
was Hail.
I wish now that they had slaughtered me
Hagalas.
like the others. I rode their storm of fire, death, slavery to
Well,
many lands.
okay, that's based from Wiki, but still I think it's pretty
Darkness you
impressive.
speak of? I know it well.
And I'm still here to fight it.
It's gone dark again, kind. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
I don't particularly like this part of the game. I mean, I like it, but I hate it.
What I really liked about this game is that although it takes place in the past, and there's
Wait, big open space. My Bloodborne and...
sure, your Bloodborne senses are tingling.
yeah.
Your gamer senses are tingling.
Yep, oh, here we go. Dark Souls, that was the word I was looking for. Oh!
You were blacking out there for a moment.
No, I was just pressing the wrong button. Oh wait, couldn't block that. Is it also able? Am I also able to select?
He finished him! Watch out!
They look amazing, by the way. These enemies,
Yeah. I have to say they're
really
Finish
scary.
this!
I mean-
End it now.
just as what I wanted to say before about the environments that look as if they could be genuine Norseman settings. I think if I remember correctly, this game, I'm going to look this up, should take place in the 9th century. But all of it looks as if it sort of could be real, but also definitely not. But more so than other games in which there's just blatant fantasy elements interspersed with blatant elements that they stole from the past. Here it really works because thematically, of course, your mind
When you see a fire
will
gate of
start
soot,
filling in all these
know
crazy
that only a
details, all
Yep.
these
sacrifice will stoke the
magnificent
fires of
landscapes,
Muspel.
strange
Dead
symbols,
walk through.
or enemies with weird headdresses on.
Find the
At,
fire,
at the same time, this could also always be the case. This could be actual Norseman reavers that we just killed, or we just perceived it to be a little bit differently as Senua.
Whoa. Oh, this is hefty stuff.
Hell will not give you the answers you want. But you mustn't look away from the horrors it does offer. Because you cannot overcome suffering if you refuse to look at it.
It's interesting how the people that talk to you, they actually do give you advice. They're not just there to pester you, but they will taunt you, they will give you advice, they will really speak their mind, as it were.
Yeah.
Cert is through there. He's waiting for her. You can't get through. How will she get through?
She'll need to find another way.
Truth, Cert. Find your own path.
This is obviously barred, but I just wanted to have a look.
There's always a way.
Find your own way.
You just have to
Find your own
it.
way.
Exactly.
You can find your own
So it's
way.
really, it's not like,
He's waiting.
oh yeah, this is, you cannot go here. It's like, Drew said, find your own path. You cannot go there.
Yeah.
After since you realize you cannot go there, it's like, it's this really great conversation in your head, which is also really scary, but also really great. I will shut up now.
The Northmen tell this story. Before the Earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright and hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks melted ice in the frozen world of Niflheim, creating the body of the first giant, Ymir. Muspel is one of the 9 worlds, and is now the land of the fire giants. And people from elsewhere cannot endure a journey there.
So, I don't think we have to narrate through all the mythological mentionings that happen, because if you want to really learn about that, you can watch your God of War stream, or actually a YouTube clip of our God of War stream that was done some weeks ago by Keda and Jaromir and their guest, I forgot his name now. Oh, horrible. Anyway, one of their friends from Scandinavia who knows a lot about Viking mythology or Scandinavian mythology.
It's too far.
Also, if you really want to learn about this sort of stuff, go read the book.
Yeah.
There are a lot of entry-level texts, so not source material texts, but entry-level secondary materials about Scandinavian mythology. I read
What about the Neil Gaiman book?
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I read recently, Neil Gaiman, which is simply called Norse mythology. Neil Gaiman, of course, a very famous author from the States. He was really into Scandinavian mythology, and he wanted to write his version of. Well, it's close to what is actually in the mythologies itself, in those primary texts, translated into English, because I don't think he reads Old Norse. But yeah, it's there is a lot of material out there, and if you really want to get stuck in, then you can start reading the Edda,
burning
and texts like that, and try and reconstruct all the important happenings in mythology by
I
yourself.
searched for meaning.
Or as I said,
suffering
Hugin, exactly,
in
Hugin.
their eyes.
Watch the stream in which Hugin
But they just
talks,
screamed like
talks with us about
helpless pigs.
Norse mythology. Do you want to know how long you've been in virtual reality at the moment, Krijn?
An hour or something?
Yeah, about it. 50 minutes. Are you? How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
You've still got your mind where it needs to be.
No, but that was not the case before either.
Okay.
Oh wait, it's this again, huh? Or is this a different part? No, this is different part. So I need to find the gate again, I guess. Oh, damn it. And these distortions. You hear this as well, right?
Yeah,
Andy?
I'm hearing this as well. I'm not liking it.
This is really some hefty stuff. Wait,
Whoops.
did I walk into the fire?
I honestly don't know. I think maybe you just went the wrong way. Or you walked into the fire. Could also be the case. Anyway, what definitely did happen is that you
I died.
died.
Let's try this one more time. I'm gonna make it. I am gonna make it. Well, it wasn't that way. Clearly.
No, clearly not that way. There we go. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
I hope so.
Run! Okay.
She's not running. What happened?
I don't know, man. You're not gonna make it, apparently.
Wait, what?
Quicker, man, quicker. Chilla is wondering if the rod grew. I think it did a little bit.
Okay, faster, huh? I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
I don't have the power.
There we go.
Yay!
Do
You
your
made
gods answer your prayers, Senua? I asked the gods for mercy, all of them, even theirs. None answered. In the end, I set myself free. Defy the gods, Senua! Find your own path, like I find mine!
My gods abandoned me. I am alone.
Okay. There's another gate here.
Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to Surt.
There's a gate there. Burned houses everywhere. Hey, that rhymes.
Northmen say that the defender of Muspel is called Surt, the foremost of the fire giants. His name means the Black One, because he is like something burnt. The Northmen believe that he sits at the border of Muspel with his flaming sword, and at the end of the world he will leave his post. He will travel to Asgard and Midgard, waging war against all the gods. He will be victorious, and then burn the whole world with fire.
So maybe you can go and fight him?
Instead of walking around here, you mean?
No. I mean that this guy is kind of a formidable opponent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him. But I like this too.
This is really nice, isn't it? One of those... I mean, the structure and layout is a little bit as you would have had it in actual Viking houses. Scandinavian houses from that period.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely, because they wouldn't be in this particular layout, I think. But the building and the carved posts and things like that. Of course, the roof and the material. That's all very much on point.
But it looks authentic, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you have to do, if I remember correctly, I mean, if you want, you can also run around. But
I am running around.
yeah, I think you have to head to the gate and find a couple more symbols again.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Oh, you know, sorry.
Just taking a nice stroll instead of,
Instead of, diving deeper
seeing
into...
burned bodies and whatever.
Sure. That is true, by the way. You have to, definitely in this game, you have to take a breather now and again.
The Northmen of Hell worship the Devourers, insatiable gods of darkness.
Okay.
I come from Erin, Senua, where I once followed my own gods, the Tuatha De Danann.
Why did you abandon your gods?
Senua, I was a man of knowledge, not a warrior. To survive, I did things. Bad things. Like you, Senua. The man I once was has died. And when that happens, even gods you worship can
This
die.
is always a nice moment to have some help from the chat.
Well, the chat helped you by saying that this this thing that looks like a butterfly is actually the D, or Dagas, or day. And the other one, which looks like an R, is basically their R.
Oh.
Raido. Raido. Apologies. Alright. I got him some.
You should smoke less, man.
Yep.
Wait, maybe it's in the trees or something.